Support for this podcast and the following message are provided by the Taintly Foundation. Taintly. Riding a bike should be difficult, but it doesn't have to be hard.
You ever see that Michael Moore? Remember that Michael Moore documentary? I forget which one it was, but where it had Paul Wolfowitz, the then secretary of some fuck, combing his hair with a spitted up comb. Do you remember that? he takes the comb and he just deep throats the fucking Con Air, and then he pulls it out and slicks his hair back. Oh, it was low because
you.
Oh, that's your secret. A pastrami eyebrow rinse.
This is my Wolfowitz.
You look nice today.
California King.
Oh, brother. Oh, man. You know, sometimes I walk around and I think the world needs so much improving and that we can do so much improving of the world. There's almost too many things that the world needs us to improve. Everything I look at, I think we could do that better. we can improve on that.
Where to start?
Yeah. Well, my problem now, and this is not to say that this is something for us to improve. I'm just right now my vision is impaired by the constant hot boxing of my lenses by my mask that I wear around when I go outside. I don't know. Merlin, have you figured out a way to deal with this? Because I walk outside and it's like it used to be fun because, you know, the one time your lenses would fog up was when, you know, you were skiing all day and then you came inside. And so for me, you know, the lenses fogging up kind of is redolent of hot chocolate and not having to ski anymore. But now it's the opposite.
That is a nice feeling. Or like walking into the reptile house at the zoo.
Oh, yeah. Why is it so humid?
You're like 20 minutes away from lunch and you're like, oh, man, let's get these fucking snakes behind us so I can fucking go ham on this little treat. I got cookies today. I saw a YouTube video that I watched probably 7 times by a very smart woman explaining a thing you can do where it keeps it held on. Now I suffer from it. I end up taking them off and like putting them in the pocket of my Donald Trump Jr. shirt. And then I get on my Segway and I ride. It's not safe. I need these for seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you think that might be a low-hanging fruit? I think on the matrix of not that difficult to huge impact, I think that's a pretty good candidate. I think that would literally help a lot of people. Adam, do you have thoughts on this?
Well, I think maybe if you integrate the glasses into the mask system or a full face covering, it might alleviate some of the issue. I'm not sure. I mean, like sometimes you, I know a guy who used to tell me you add detail to take detail away. I never knew what it meant, but I think it could mean you impair the vision so it's no longer an issue.
You add detail to take detail away.
Yeah, I just nodded.
What about a prescription dry cleaning bag? No, literally. No, I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm saying you get, what is your vision? Can you see the H? And then and then you get a whole bag, so you're protected against the environment. You poke a few holes in the back, like for a bunny, and then you know now your bag is your glasses.
I think we're certainly. Here's what I love about the ideas so far: they're new.
It's like I was watching the baseball last night, and the guys were really excited because the guys that were calling it were like they're like, oh, it's so great to have baseball back. It's fun that we're trying different things. It's fun that you start somebody on second in later innings. It's fun that we still got the fucking designated hitter for some bullshit reason. Let's mix it up. Like, what is there to lose except for potentially? I mean, it could. You don't want to breathe in the bag, but it's time for novel solutions. It's time to see what is in front of us: a problem and a solution. Put them together.
So you're so far it's a plastic bag over the head. Prescription plastic bag. You know, it's
a medical plastic. It's a and it would. I mean, not all my bags involve plastic and boxes, but a lot of them do.
Yeah. I like anything that's grade. It's medical grade plastic or sushi grade. I don't think that means anything. I think it,
No. It's like prescription, except a suffix. You add that to
prescription
something.
sushi.
Yeah.
Can you get prescription
sushi? Hi. And then you put that on there and you're slathering it in science sauce. I saw an article this morning that I'm not sure I believe because it seemed like kind of bullshit, but they said, turns out you're a couch potato. You sit on your couch. You've confused your body because your body thinks it weighs less than it does. If you get a weighted suit and you wear that, you start losing weight because you've confused your body into thinking you're heavier than you are. Now we're talking about homeostasis. Sandbag shirt.
That sounds like a dream you had.
It might have been. You were there, but it wasn't you.
In snorkeling, I think that the way to prevent your snorkel mask from getting fogged is that there's a separation of the breathing system. So, I mean, possibly that's the solution for just everyday walking around use is you separate the breathing system from your glasses. Basically, just breathe out of a tube. Just attach, sure. But the tubes have to be attached to the mask. It doesn't seem that complicated. You get a 3D printer and you're in business.
Or,
I can't tell you why I remember this, but the funniest thing, I've never done snorkeling because I don't go outside. But if I've seen in TV, sometimes what people do? They'll spit in their mask, and then that will keep it from fogging up. Now, Scott, one time you told me an anecdote about a film you saw. What was your story about? Was it the Secretary of Fuck All, Paul Wolfowitz? What did he do?
That's right. Well, Paul Wolfowitz, they capture him before. It's a little bit unfair documentarian technique where they're just he's getting ready for the shot, and he takes the
Oh, it's kind of like a Houdini meets Burr thing. I wasn't ready.
He takes the ace comb out of his pocket and then just gives it a full.
That's such poor form. For documentarians that should be off limits. I think
it would be like
you're gonna pick your nose. You're gonna do all of the things before they say.
It would be like showing Newt Gingrich getting into Spanx. Like, okay, so I'm just saying, there's a lot of things we can do with plastic and spit. Do you guys want to start?
It is frustrating though because the whole world I see is through this miasma of my breath, and it makes it hard to really clearly know what's going on around me. And I think it makes it hard for other people to take me seriously. Like when I walk up and I'm like, how much is this? And all they see is like two frosted panes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's so many things where just real talk, guys. It's been a while that we've been doing this bullshit. Everybody's pretty sick of it in one way or another, or all of them. But there's still so much stuff we haven't mastered. And anytime I look at a situation like that, you know what I see? Opportunity.
Right.
People have to get better at waiting in lines. Maybe we could help the Disney people who apparently think having a theme park right now is a great idea. There's a lot of unsolved problems right now, and sometimes you got to get a little bit of Apollo 13 and then dump a box of shit on a table and, I don't know, take an early lunch. But I feel like I agree, low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, the mask. It would be something that would be nice to improve.
Did you guys ever go through a headband phase of your life, even early life? I don't know, athletic headband or fashion, like a rolled up handkerchief, something maybe under the bangs, maybe a Karate Kid, anything like that?
No, I never have worn a hat. I always look. As soon as I put a hat on, even at my mid-40s where I am now, I still look extremely Make-A-Wish. I don't know why.
It's time for Scott's big day.
I don't know what putting a hat on my head does to my whole being, but I just look like
Karl Malone.
I look like I know 6 oncologists, and they call me Sweetie.
Jesus God.
He's such a precious boy. Oh shit! Well, I had a Bjorn Borg phase, like a lot of young men. where
Okay, so
I
shaggy
would wear,
with it on top of the bang.
but like, yeah, like maybe a visor later on when I'd earned it. No, but like the kind of thing you get at Sears, like that kind of terry cloth, with
Sure.
a Borg stripe on it.
Yeah.
And of course you get the wrist things. And then in college I was a bandana guy, which I don't feel great about. We called it an acid helmet. It was not a terrific look.
How'd you do the bandana? Was it triangularly folded and then the corner putt stretched over the top of your head?
Do a back corner tuck on the 90 degree. 245s is a
Military
90.
style.
Boom. Play my tape. Don't worry about a thing. 3 little birds. Fuck.
Oh, college music. Oh, Bob Marley, man. Thank you for college, Bob Marley. We should just go to Bob Marley University. That'd be...
Yes. Well, when my dad came back from the Korean War, and he had a pretty rough time there. They didn't even have a name for like PTSD. They just called it like being a pussy or whatever. But he came back and he could not eat chicken or rice for the rest of his life. He just, even being around it, he couldn't see fireworks. It was really, really bad. And I'm like that with Bob Marley. He's my chicken. Doesn't mean I won't. Yeah. It's just I've had so many terrible experiences with the same 5 Bob Marley. One time when my wife and she was pregnant and we were in a canoe going down a river and the thing overturned and we thought she was going to lose the baby. But we had to still make it to the spot where you get on a fucking school bus to be driven back up the Russian River or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Such loud Bob Marley the entire trip, and every one of these chodes was singing along. 3 little birds. It's just it's PTSD.
Yeah. Adam, were you a headband guy? You have to have been a headband, like a classic tennis. No.
Oh yeah, I multiple times in my life. I mean, I think probably the most like egregiously as like the actual branded Karate Kid headband. Like I was Karate Boy.
What do you order
Karate
like
Kid
that, Adam?
came out.
Where do you buy something like that?
I don't know, a store. I don't know where you got stuff when I was a kid. Probably Kmart.
Yeah, Spencer's Gifts, the back of a comic book.
Yeah,
or maybe a freebie from the
if it's
movie
Florida, it's a
theater.
flea market. You buy everything at a flea market. You can get medical care. You can get beer koozies, nunchucks, whatever you want. You just go to the flea market. It's all there.
I mean,
Oncology.
I've seen Adam in radical headgear pull a stork pose on the street, and it's like a fucking, how when you go to Chicago and they're like, you've seen the Picasso, there's like one Picasso sculpture that they're super proud of.
Yeah.
The city of Austin should have made a sculpture of Adam doing the stork pose.
That's embarrassing for me.
Is it a stork or is it a crane, Scott?
Oh, sorry, the crane.
I don't hate a new kata based on storks and pelicans. I could really get into that.
In the movie, it was a crane pose. Adam did the stork pose. We did not win that fight.
Are storks the one that mate for life and are really mean? Is that storks?
What are the ones that brought my children to my house? Those are storks.
Oh, that's the Easter bunny.
Let me tell you. Have you ever seen us? We were in Portugal 2 summers ago, and Portugal is lousy with storks. Like when you are on the highway and you're driving and they have those high voltage wires running along the side of the highway, every single of the structures that holds them up is got 4 or 5 stork nests. A stork nest the size of like a Volkswagen Beetle.
They're so much bigger than you expect, and they're so much meaner. And because of their character class, most of them are either chaotic neutral or chaotic evil. They're super fucking mean. In the way that a raven could be like a chaotic good wizard, a fucking stork is out to get you. A stork will harm you. They are huge. They're so fucking big.
They are huge. They're really a testament to the power of size making something less cute.
Huh.
Adam, when you did karate, and you did karate for a while,
Sure.
was this the kind of dojo that wherein uniforms were sort of malleable? You could sort of do your own thing?
Sort of, yes. Yeah, because I made style choices. I remember I definitely had my mom sort of shorten the sleeves as though I were Don Johnson.
I love it.
Or Sonny Crockett,
So, yeah.
Sure.
Because that was the style at the time, shorten the pants a bit.
And so you're wearing like a linen blazer with a yellow belt? Is that what that was?
A lot of pastels. No, I mean, it was a simple sort of, minimalistic style. One patch, white gi, and your belts. There were other dojos that would do it up like the whole red, white, and blue, or various colors and everything, which always seemed a little bit flashier to me. But definitely we could just like lengthen or shorten the different appendages of our outfit, and I definitely wanted to look cute when I was doing it. Like,
you did. I'll bet you did. I know you did.
Well, is you a hat or no hat? No, when you're doing your forms and your katanas.
Yeah.
What is it called? What's it called when you do the little dance with the feet on the floor?
Yeah,
Is that
you
kata?
got it.
Okay, all right. No hat at all, no helmet, no anything. You just doing it fully.
Why would you need a hat to dance?
Yeah, I know. There's no traditional.
Why would you need a hat to dance? That's a really good point. It's more like, the thing is, it's sort of like when you wear a black brassiere under your business lady suit. Like, this is for me. You know what I mean? If I'm going to go out there to like the Fred Astaire of kata or katana, as you say, I want to feel good, about who I am and what I'm working with. I could see Adam looks great in a hat. Scott and I have a lot of problems with hats. I obviously
don't. What if we all just wore the same hat and it became sort of a Zizou kind of thing?
You mean it would be very wide?
obnoxious?
We'd all get inside of it like a
that'd be
cartoon
okay.
character? It's literally the same hat? That would be cute.
Yes.
Where are we going
looks like a
next?
stork.
Walk slower. Walk slower. Oh, I can see the three of us in line at the bank in one hat. Look away. Look away.
Put beanie stretched across the three of us.
Oh,
Put my
what if
pin.
we're
I put my
bank
pin in.
robbers?
Look away. Ooh. Well, it's handy because it's just
Go ahead,
one.
You do it.
Just one balaclava down the front of your faces, and the holes are always going in the wrong places.
Yes, that's the problem. But balaclava, that's not that Greek pastry, though, right? I get so
think
confused
that's-
sometimes. I think it's very interesting what we go through, the stages that we go through in life, and certainly we've covered this a lot on this program. But I mean, we do it for a reason, which is that
Sure.
hey man, this is a car ride, and we don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
So I might as well get the spinner hubs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do I find out who I am? Through my presentation, and that's harder than ever right now. Like, I feel like I should be wearing gloves more, but I don't want to sound like all of my relatives. But it feels weird to go out in public like fully. You do look like some kind of a sex pest. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm actually, what I'm really into is men in masks and women with Zoom backgrounds. It's just, you don't want to feel
Maybe
like a
carry
weirdo.
around, in addition to the latex gloves, carry around some forceps so you really don't have to touch anything.
No, yeah. Or those tools that immediately popped up on Instagram that they sell you for like pushing the elevator button, the little key.
I love that. Yes.
Or like opening the door for just a hook.
Are those big in Japan, Scott?
No, gosh, no. No. They
That's
just
my favorite way you've ever said no before. I want to make that my ringtone.
No, gosh, no. I mean, as far as I know, I haven't physically been there during this time, but Japanese people, they handle cleanliness in density very well, right? They knew the mask thing way before we did. They figured that out, that it's not to keep yourself healthy, but to keep other people away from your gross breath. I think they probably have a really, and they don't have kooks like we do, which makes me sad because I've always been very proud of our kooks, and now our kooks have such a role in our culture that's sort of outside.
I remember kooks in Tokyo. I remember a street corner I think they were wearing yellow jumpsuits. Does this ring a bell?
Ooh.
Is there a cult?
It might be the
in
Beastie
Japan?
Boys.
There are. I mean, Japan is. I am pretty confident in this statistic. Japan and the United States are the two leaders in the world of new religious movements.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a cult or whatever the thing is that's a light version of a cult, like a serious religion, they're very popular in Japan.
Korea also, right? I mean, it wasn't part of
Korea as well.
Am I remembering
Sure.
correctly? Part of the coronavirus COVID stuff started because of some. I believe
That's right.
This is
yeah.
the neat part is when they make the museum of this in the Cormac McCarthy future that we're all going to have to
the COVID museum on the mall, National
the
Mall.
save it. Yes, is I believe it was I want to say might have been in Wuhan actually, but they were attempting to set, I believe, a first exhibit. You walk in, they stamp your hand. You walk in. It was an attempt to break the Guinness World Record, I believe, for the largest indoor potluck ever held. Let's move on to the next room now.
Oh my God. Why is Mark Twain the narrator in this museum? Doesn't make any sense.
He's misquoting Winston Churchill. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a hell of a museum. I don't know what we're going to have left. But the clothes thing becomes important. Like we forgive me. I know we've covered some of this before. There may be new people listening in. We know things like we know the privations of World War II had an impact on hemlines because you didn't have as much, cloth to make. Obviously, you're not going to have nylons because that all has to go. Nylons are oil. That's all got to go to the military machine, et cetera. You can't wear a fender like from a Nash or a quarter panel, because that's all got to be made into airplanes. They got to melt that down, right? And then after the war, you get the I'm not going to take you through the entire fashion history of the second half of the 20th century, but you feel me on this, right? Hemlines go up and down. Hats go on and off. They want kids to stop using dry cleaner bags, prescription or otherwise, food grade or otherwise. But I feel like, that is an opportunity. Think about what they used to call heroin chic. Not a very nice name for it, but you basically, you look like you'd, fallen out of an airplane and landed on a needle or something like that. But it reflects our times. So, are there innovations there? Is one low-hanging fruit? I don't know. Just a way to stay safe and look a little bit sharp and maybe learn some karate while you dance with a hat.
Well, this is the origin of steam. This might be a sidestep, but this is the origin of steampunk fashion, right? That they have all that crazy shit on their face and body because that was the materials they had to work with at the time. That glasses were circular and sort of aviation kind of things with metal cranks on them because I don't know because they had to make their glasses from a cuckoo clock.
Who's they?
The steam.
That's why all the hats had rivets. Because of the war.
Yeah. Well, where else could that come from? That particular.
Diegetic, is that the word?
Wait, you're not saying that's made up, are you? I thought it was I was positive it was by necessity that steampunks had to make their shit out of.
Well, yeah. If you wanted to have like a desk, it had to be made out of a decommissioned submarine. If you wanted to have a submarine, it was often made out of a decommissioned desk. It was a different time. People rode a lot more and would visit with relatives, often on a swing.
So what do we have an abundance of now that we should probably repurpose into things we have a shortage of?
Right.
I have a lot of Amazon boxes and ramekins. I don't know if that's anything.
What is a ramekin?
Oh, a ramekin is an adorable little thing to put other things in, and you can get them in different sizes, and they're super cute.
Oh.
You'll traditionally, I think, bake a tart in a ramekin. It's an oven-safe small baking dish that Merlin uses for paper clips.
But is there a practical component to steampunk that maybe in our ardor to make a funny ha-ha goof 'em up on our program, are there aspects to steampunk where we're saying really, well, steampunk is better than recycling, let alone reuse? Like, maybe there's a hat from a different area you could put rivets on with medical grade straps and gimbals and gears and gibbets.
I think one of the things that we're illustrating right now as we talk about this is that it is very difficult often to see what's going to come of major events when you're in the middle of them.
Right.
Like right now we've got a whiteboard the size of the world that we can draw on and try and figure stuff out with, but it's really tough to say what's gonna come of this.
Yeah, and by the time, well, let's say we just, to put this behind us, if we did want to commit fully to a steampunk upgrade, a medical grade, steampunk, like if you became, by the time we put out a line of lifestyle deep sea diving bell suits, somebody else has moved on to the next thing, and now our rivets are rusty, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean,
it's hard to know.
That does really check all the boxes, though. It's heavy, tricking your body into thinking that it's got to lose weight. It's both a safety covering and potentially a prescription eyewear. It offers the ability to breathe, keeps the sun off of you. You can't get on a bicycle because that would be. Yeah. And I'm always looking for excuses not to ride a bicycle.
Right.
Here's another one.
It's tough because, I always feel like there's these certain kinds of activities, whether that's bowling, batting cages, bicycles. Those are things that hurt very specific parts of your body. I've very badly harmed my taint just from riding a bike. And when I used to go to the batting cages, I'd feel totally cattywampus because now I'm all off balance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe we can get a grant. I don't know.
Yeah, those activities which specifically work out one
yeah.
part of the body extra.
I really like the diving helmet idea, though, for all of these purposes, including one large optical lens.
Yep.
If you have the fogging problem, it's because you need glasses to see. So it's a very, very heavy diving helmet that promotes homeostasis. Is that what you?
Yeah, I think it's homeostasis, heterogenitive, parthenogenesis, various ways that we accommodate the genetic fibers that enliven, all aspects of, breath. That's Aristotle talked about that. Inspire means literally to put on a diving bell suit. That was in ethics. So I don't want to get too hung up on this, but I do know people like fun outfits. And the furries, with all respect, I have so much respect for the furries, I assume. But I feel like our diving bell would just put them to shame right now. They're out there in those sticky suits in their cuddle puddles.
So just so I understand, when we say what we're going for, are we, because isn't a diving bell, isn't that like is that a bathysphere? I don't know. I'm deep into steampunk / traditional submersible terminology that I'm unfamiliar with. Is a bathysphere the one that's like a big ball that you can get into, and then you're lowered down into the water? Is that what's a diving bell?
Scott, I have to be honest with you. I don't think there's any harm in us assuming that we know more about this than we do, because the folks who know a lot about this have not carried the ball very far.
Well, yeah, what are they doing? I haven't seen a bathysphere in decades. What the fuck are they doing? I mean, they don't even have virtual Comic-Con in that outfit? Oh, God.
I mean, I have a question for Joss Whedon.
I guess here's just kind of generally what I'm thinking. The one of the problems with the suit is that you have to put it on, take it off. It's very heavy, and it has to be customized to each individual person. What if we went with more of the bathysphere, I think I'm using that word correctly, model, which is essentially, a big ball prescription that you step into, and then you walk around in like those isn't there like a party game where you can rent one of those things where you're like inside the ball and then
I know what you see. For some reason I keep thinking of balloon fetishists. I don't know why, but I get what you're saying. You're talking about that big, like something like maybe a German would rent, like a big hamster ball that you bring to your
like a hamster ball.
Like a hamster ball for Dust Picnic. Okay, yes.
Dust Picnic is a great brand name.
That's terrific. What a claustrophobic movie that was.
It keeps people away from each other. Like, it enforces social distancing. It keeps me off a bicycle forever because you can't ride a bike.
See, the bike thing kills me. I mean, my taint hurts right now just thinking about it.
Are you?
Is there just real quick? I'm sorry, just super quick.
No.
Can we agree that if we make this suit as cool as we want, it's going to be pretty heavy? I mean, it's going to be like, it's not going to be trivially like medically grade light in weight.
No, that's
right? We know we don't want to ride on a bike because of our taints.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I can do a demo of this if you want to get an idea. Could we also build in a Segway? So,
well, I think
Very good.
let's call that an option, right? You could upgrade to some sort of mobility system for your feet that's not walking.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Please don't eat shit. I feel like a Segway operates on the same principles as the hamster ball, and it could be sort of like all in one autonomous package. You could, I don't know, like with a gyroscope. Essentially, we're building a large Earth, like a terrestrial bathysphere.
Right.
With a self-regulating accelerometer gyroscope component.
oh, so you're the gimbal. You're the gimbal. You're the steady. It's a steady cam for your life.
That's right. Oh, like an exoskeleton, even to sort of keep you even extra.
No, you're like the. It's an update on the Weeble. You're not even going to wobble, let alone fall down, because you're a gimbal man.
Yeah, you're strapped in very securely in the middle of this thing. You can't hear anybody,
right,
or see.
Okay.
I think our inventions are just slowly becoming more and more like death. It'll be dark. Time won't really pass. This is just us. This is just us preparing to die.
That's where we're going.
I don't hate any of this. It's really because you can't go to stores, right? If you do go to stores, like it's pretty bad. But also there's a way we could work some kind of upsetting sex thing into it. Maybe we should talk about that later. But I feel like one way to really have this catch on, because people are lonely and they're like they're doing that thing on MSNBC where you have a date on a video, which seems. I mean, is there any way that they might be able to bone down a little bit while they're wearing their spaceman gimbal suit?
Oh, maybe just the bottom half comes off.
That seems surprisingly safe.
You sort of have to fit the two. I don't know. Just
no, I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
Yeah, the two top halves kind of fit together into sort of a. I don't know if scissoring is actually a thing. Like,
right,
should be.
Yeah.
But
scissoring.
Sort of you bring. Almost like a Pokemon ball.
I mean, this would sort of be like cupping, I guess you could call it.
Cupping, which is therapeutic. And then you get the bottom part down, and then people are like, I guess you could blow on it and stuff. Meanwhile, you're up here in the bell, maybe enjoying a sandwich or something. Like,
sure, that's true. It does
okay, what's it called? Camel toe. What's the thing? What's the stupid thing with hippies where they have they got a thermos on their back and they suck on a tube like a weirdo? Camel toe. Yeah, you could have camel toe in there or moose knuckle, whatever it's called. I don't know the brand name, but then you're able to get that into your mouth while there's someone inspiring you in the basement of the steampunk building.
I like being inspired. I love your 19th century Victorian terminology for orgasm. My basement was inspired.
Oh boy, last night I had a rather significant revelation from the Lord. I found a new way to darn the biscuits. I don't need a horse for this journey. My wagon has been hewed. I put things in my butt. Good day, sir.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah, that one was too far. That one I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get the reference. The one of my favorite things in the world, and I don't know if I've really talked about this with you guys before, is when this seems to me to be such a common phenomenon. The older man, as far as I'm aware, it's a man who loses his family or isolates himself from everyone, is not an artist and is not a talented artist, but just starts building something out in the wilderness. There are, in our country alone, hundreds of these places that you can visit. Some are beautiful and famous, like the Watts Towers. Some are ridiculous and bad. But they're all over the place where these men just...
You're talking about, is this sort of the outsider art thing where after my wife died, I made a house out of bottle caps and I'll never be finished because there's a ghost?
That's there. There's I guess there's a dude
That's the Winchester bottle
who
house.
I think did exactly that, and the Winchester Mystery House, an architectural version of that, which is in that case a woman, but you're
saying a project. Really make something with our hands.
I love those sites. I love those places in the world. They speak to me of such sad loneliness, but then still finding hope within it. I'm just saying, now's the time maybe to retreat out to the woods and build a hygienic sex bathysphere out of bottle caps.
One thing I love about this though is the contrast. Like if you're too on the nose, if you're too diving bell on a diving bell, like it's not as fun. I like the idea of the contrast of this, of like you go out into the woods. I don't think your Segway is going to make it out there. You're probably going to need to ride a burro or similar. And you're holding the ears and you ride out into the woods, but there before you, a stately pleasure dome decree, right? It's our personal Xanadu, and it's water resistant to up to 5 meters, but it's a strip club, and maybe we got outside dining that people could enjoy there. But boy, the stripping thing would be huge.
Yeah,
God.
I see what you're saying. This is like Taint Ranch.
Taint Ranch. You know what? You leave your bike at home, come out here, and get inspired. Right. By which I mean there will be somebody in a diving bell who blows on your bathing suit area.
This has been You Look Nice Today.
Telephone King.
Thank you.